Say Jason O'Mara, hello.
What's up, man?
Our Batman.
Yeah, of course.
You got about 8 minutes.
Certainly.
Back yourself.
So,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys? All right?
Very good.
Doing good. Is this what, day 2, day 3? Day 3. So we're starting to lag a little bit, slow down. Yeah.
Brain's disintegrated.
Yeah, I get it.
Can I ask you what you feel how about your Batman is different from other Batman interpretations?
Yeah, but as far as I can see, I mean, obviously, you know, the inspiration for this Batman was the New 52 series, but in a way, the animated movie series, or at least my one, is sort of going into uncharted territory now with that storyline. So the way I see it is that this Batman has a very specific kind of emotional family baggage. He's a dad. He has this history with Talia. Both he and his son were trained by Ra's al Ghul, and now in this world, you know, his Robin has grown up, flown the coop, as it were, flown the cave, and has become Nightwing. And Nightwing's handing his mantle down to Damian. And this is the same Batman who in Justice League War brought the Justice League together for the first time, and now he's bringing this group of dark supernatural folks together in this movie. So, and he's also sent Damian off to Teen Titans, almost like sort of a boarding school. So this is the storyline of this Batman, and I think anything outside of that, Dark Knight, you know, I prefer to work alone. That's a different Batman that exists in another universe. So. As long as it's got to do with this Batman storyline, I'll be the voice of it. But I think as soon as it goes outside of it, I think it's either Kevin Conroy territory or it's a whole other thing.
That's great. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What
was your reaction to the script for Justice League Dark in regard to Batman's role and how it's dealing in the supernatural? Because Justice League vs. Teen Titans dealt with that a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Batman quite makes that connection between the magic supernatural elements in Teen Titans and this kind of supernatural that's going on in Gotham. I think the one in Teen Titans was more like, I mean, he does reference to, he says like, someone in the movie says, "This is hell," and he goes, "I've been to hell and this is nothing like it," kind of thing. So Batman's been around the block, is what I'm saying. But at the same time, I think he's still very skeptical of the magic. Batman is based in science. He's a detective, you know, the greatest detective who ever lived. And if it doesn't make logical sense to Batman, it doesn't exist. So he has a really hard time getting his head around it. So what that lends itself to is something really interesting where Batman can actually be kind of quite glib and raises an eyebrow at all of this and effectively becomes the everyman, the eyes and ears of the audience, saying, you know, I don't understand any of this, and actually I think it's just a load of nonsense, you know, and so he has to be disproved. He has to see it for himself, and he even gets involved in quite a bit of the fights along the way. So I think it was a really interesting idea to involve Batman. I mean, I would, because it gives me a job, but I think involving, you know, Batman, who's already the personification of darkness, in a movie called Justice League Dark, seems to me to be the link between, you know, the DCU we know and love and this expanding DCU into the realm of the supernatural.
So are there a lot of first meetings with these heroes in the film, or are these people that he would call on when it's something he can't explain, or both? There's a suggestion that he and Zatanna go back, which in the comic books there's a whole backstory between them. So there's a suggestion they already know each other, but no. Batman gets in touch with Constantine through Deadman. Okay.
And Deadman's introduced for the first time. I don't want to give any of that away, but that's pretty cool. You know, we're seeing Swamp Thing for the first time, or at least in this universe. So, yeah, there are a lot of firsts in this movie, and it's the first time we see this very disparate group work together. And you know, Batman has
always is trying to get people to work together as a team, not always successfully.
In terms of the animation and the visuals, this is available in digital HD, Blu-ray. What's the best way to watch it? Phone, big screen? What do you think?
Well, I think big screen. I think anytime Jay Oliva directs one of these, it's big screen stuff. He knows his stuff when it comes to fights, action, explosions. There's also a lot of supernatural images, sort of magical smoke and whatnot. And mist. So I would say watch it on the biggest screen you can. I mean, Jay is behind most of the action sequences of the live-action DC movies. He works with Zack Snyder and those guys on those
Color palette
sequences.
is consistent.
Yeah, and it's big screen stuff. He tries to paint in big pictures, and I don't quite know how he does it on these budgets, but somehow he pulls it off.
A live action of this film has been in development hell for a while now. I think once the release of this comes out, live action version.
I've no idea. You'd have to ask someone from DC that, but I mean, my own personal feeling is, like, you got to establish. I don't speak on behalf of DC or Warner Brothers when I say this, but I think you have to establish, like, the Justice League for the first time coming together. My own opinion, I think Suicide Squad should come after that, not before, and then you expand it into Justice League Dark. Once we understand Batman, Superman, and the other Justice League characters, then you can kind of subvert it. That's my take on it. But I mean, what do I know? I'm a voice actor right now.
Do you have a live-action character that you'd like to play?
A DC live-action character? Yeah, I want to play Batman.
Fine, obviously.
I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about this earlier today. Certainly in the comic book world, there are all these universes, and no one has any problem with that, right? There's all these concurrent storylines, different artists, different writers, different versions of the Batman story, different versions of Batman, and who surrounds him or doesn't surround him. We're kind of getting that way with the animated series, right? Animated movies, TV shows, Lego Batman. There's all of these kind of, what do you call it? Parallel realities. And, I think ultimately we'll probably head that way with the movies. I think there will be a Ben Affleck Batman who lives in that world with the Justice League, and there's plenty of room for another Batman that lives alongside him. Like maybe it's an Adam West kind of, what's the word? Funny kind of spoofy Batman. Like, why not?
The CW doesn't have a Batman yet, so you definitely
Plus, you're in the Marvel universe too. How do you reconcile being Marvel and DC at the same time?
I don't have to, honestly. What else seems to think I do? I mean, to me, it's just that, comic book inspired content is occupying so much of the pop culture space. It's almost hard to avoid it one way or another.
How did you get into? What was your first comic for you personally? What did you read?
My first comic was 2000 AD. Yeah. Judge Dredd and
Warrior. Rogue Trooper.
Rogue Trooper, loved Rogue Trooper. God, what was the other one? It was like
Strontium Dog or
Strontium Dog. Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
Then there was the bunch of like bounty hunters. Anyway, I loved it. And I of course had some of those early issues, like issue number 2, issue number 3, and
Had or still have?
no, had. I realized when I turned, I don't know, like 13 or something, like where are those things gone? And they're gone, and it's forever gone.
who are your favorite artists and writers?
Oh God, I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember their names, but there was a couple of Judge Dredd.
Pat Mosher, John Wagner.
Brian Boland.
Boland's amazing.
Yeah, he was he became it for me. Like I remember reading Brian Boland Judge Dredd story, and I was just like, how do they do this? It just blew my mind, the detail.
There's a Judge Dredd opening too, right?
Unless Carl Urban's coming back.
I mean,
That was a
Carl
great
Urban was
job.
great. It was great. It's just I still feel like they haven't quite nailed the Judge Dredd.
Okay. Very cool.
I think Carl Urban is the right guy, but I don't think they've nailed a Judge Dredd movie yet. I want to see another one. They should just keep doing it until it's smashed it.